Now, we have one more section to write in our persuasive writing content, and we've already had the introduction, the claims with their reasons and evidence, and now we're going to finish off our persuasion after. There can be more than one claim, certainly, but whenever you get finished writing your claims, your reasons, and your evidence, you've already written your introduction. There is one more section that you would put into your persuasive writing. And here again, any one of you want to try to guess what that section would be?
And again, I'm going to give you a hint. We have to remember that everything that we write always has the introduction that you mentioned, and then it has that main body part. And for us here, the main body part is the claims and the evidence and reasons. And now this final step has to always be included. So let's see, Rose, what do you think that it might be?
Conclusion.
The conclusion. That might be good. Do we have anybody else?
The conclusion.
Another one who says the conclusion. Okay, Mr. Smith?
Bingo! You're absolutely right. It is the conclusion, or conclusions if it's plural. And in your conclusion section, you should include in there the opinions, or it's kind of a summary, the opinions or points of view that you want your readers to have after they've read your claims and reasons and evidence that you've presented. And also, if you're recommending that action be taken, it should be described here in the conclusion. Who's going to take it, when do you take it, what are you going to do, and where. So in the case of this proposed school policy, we could include several things in the conclusions. Does somebody want to take a guess what we might put in our conclusions at this point? And you can remember it's kind of a summary now at the end.
So we got to remember what our initial claims were and our position that we took on the phone, or on the smart devices in school. Here's one option.
The main ideas of the paragraphs before.
Okay, maybe the main ideas of the paragraphs before.
Okay. Kind of a summary of the main ideas, right?
Right, a summary.
Okay.
What else might be really good to restate in a persuasive paper? Okay, let's see what you think.
You're, like what side you're on, if you agree with it or not.
Okay,
Excellent.
Your position, okay.
Okay, we have another one.
Restating your topic.
And along with that, maybe your topic. Good job.
Okay. What I had in there also is here's where you could summarize the disadvantage of the present methods of teaching and learning and the advantages of allowing students to bring these devices with them to use in school. It would be kind of a summary. You don't want to repeat exactly word for word everything that you said before, but you might just kind of summarize it. You could even use what we call bullet points. You'd make a statement that here are the disadvantages of the present methods, and these are phrases underneath. They're not even complete sentences, so you could list them as a bullet point. And here are the advantages, and list them as a bullet point. Very like summary type information. Also, what could the students possibly do next in the way of taking action? Well, they could create and sign a petition letter to the principal for a group of students. You could see if you could arrange for that uncle to come and visit the school and speak about the experiences in the school system that he teaches in. So those are kind of what you could put in the conclusion. And in there you could, again, repeat your position. Therefore, I am against this policy because, and then quickly summarize the advantages of it, the disadvantages of it, and then talk about will be circulating, or we will having a meeting after class. Would you come and sign this petition? And would you talk to your parents, maybe get them to write a letter, whatever action you decide you want to take to help you convince other people to overcome this particular policy. So anyone have any other comments on the conclusion at all? Okay. let's just review for a minute the way we organized our content. Remember, we wrote an introduction, we introduced claims, there can be more than one claim, and we supported each claim with some reasons, one or more, and some relevant evidence, one or more pieces of evidence, and then we presented our conclusions. So that's how we organize the content. So I think we've covered the topics I wanted to cover today, so by way of review, let's go over a few things. In the beginning, I mentioned that there were two purposes of persuasive writing. Does anybody remember what either one or two of those reasons were, why we use persuasive writing?
Here's one.
Persuade readers to agree with your point of view.
Very good.
That was one, persuade the reader. Does anybody else see, girls, if you have an idea?
To motivate people to do what your idea is.
Very good.
Great job.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Okay, then after we discussed the purposes of persuasive writing, we then had the persuasive writing process. Before you start to write, there were 3 steps in there, and we have the acronym TAP. Does anybody remember what any of the 3 steps were that form the acronym TAP?
Okay, give me one of them. Unmuted. Okay, give me one of them.
Make your position in your case.
Okay.
Right. P was for position.
How
about T and A?
Topic.
Good job, girls. So topic and
topic,
position.
very good.
Have the T and the T. Let's see if you can get the A.
Audience.
Excellent.
You pick your topic, you pick your position. What else do you have to pick?
They said it. The audience. The last one said it.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry, I didn't hear that. Audience, very good.
Yes.
So that's TAP. That's the persuasive writing process. And then we did one more thing, which was organizing the content. That's the one we just talked about a few minutes ago. There were 4 parts of organizing the content. Who can remember what the different parts might be?
Here's one.
Evidence.
Okay. Evidence and reasons. That's one of them. Let's see if we have another one.
Introduction.
Good job.
Very good.
Got a few more left. Girls, what do you think?
Claims.
Good job.
Yep. Claims, which go along with reasons and evidence, absolutely. So we have introduction, claims with reasons and evidence, and what did we discuss last? What's the last section?
Always goes at the end. What do you think?
Conclusion.
There you are. Very good. We're pretty much at the end of my part of this now, so I think before I turn this back over to Mrs. Adams, does anybody have any other questions? I think you guys did a really, really good job of coming up with the answers that I had asked for each time. But are there any final questions anybody has or any comments about persuasive writing right now?
All right. Well, we really, really appreciate your participation today. And if you've been with us in the past, then you know that we have 2 different ways for you to extend your learning throughout this next week before our next and final session. The first one is with quillpad.org, and this is going to be a public blog that you can create. We ask that you use your parents to help register and create this blog, and to always remember to follow your safe internet practices. Never give out personal information. Be cautious about what it is that you write, because this is a public blog and anybody can see and comment on it. And sometime during the next week, if you have the chance to work on your blog, we'd like you to focus on these questions. How will you use this persuasive technique in your writing? Are there any authors or maybe people who write newspaper articles that you think do this very well? And then we'd like you to write a short persuasion piece as well. And the other way is through our Lumos Step Up product. And here, this is our e-learning workbook with multiple choice questions. If you are a current subscriber to Lumos Step Up, then when you log into your account and you typically see math and or language arts, You'll also see a tab for the Write Better sessions. And if you're a new student joining us today, then you will have an email by Friday that will give you the information of how you can access your account. Once you're in the account, you can see that we have all 4 sessions listed there. You can click on the session that you would like to look at the questions for, and then you can attempt the questions and see how you do, see how well you paid attention. Additionally there, you can also see that there are other topics that you can look through to learn how to expand your story idea. Once you click on the session that you want, there will always be a lesson summary and then a video of the session, the one that we're having right now. In the next few days, a video will be put up also in case you want to review it. And then the homework extensions will also be listed there as well. So I'd like to, again, thank you for being here. Remind you that our last session is next Wednesday, December 11th, again at 5 p.m. Eastern. And we're just so excited that you've been here with us, and some of you have been here the entire time and have very much so participated and made this a great session for us. So have a wonderful week, and we look forward to seeing you next week.